Now, down the line in York is the Lancet's Mr. Exophthalmic Goiter 1972, Victor Lewis Smith. Victor, I understand you've become something of an entrepreneur these days.
That's right, Mr. Satire 1962. Following the huge success of my inflatable blow-up Ned Sherrin doll, It Never Says No, I've launched a brand new product.
Exclusive to this network, we bring you the Loose Ends Obesity Book Club. Your chance to increase your word power while putting on pounds. Yes, in a box set of 84,000 luxurious volumes, we're offering Tess of the D'Urbervilles. Each exquisite volume is a stick of seaside rock, with 3 words of the novel written right the way through in a strawberry or peppermint casing. Thomas Hardy never tasted so good. And we guarantee a bodybuilding 50 million calories a chapter. And have you noticed how all voices on commercials go all high and then all low? Nobody speaks like that in real life. Why, if I met you in the street and talked like this, you'd say, go to a mental hospital.
I'm licking as hard as I can, Mrs. Tribby. I can't lick any more.
It's hobby day in my luxury penthouse flat. Mrs. Tribbley is a keen philatelist, and I spend a happy hour licking her hinges while she lays idly thumbing her gibbons. The RSPCA are powerless.
My tongue is almost off. Mrs. Tribbley!
Meanwhile, my fictional whippet, once known to millions as Bunty on the children's programme How, is indulging his penchant for putting tortoises into the microwave oven and watching them explode.
Look, Mrs. Tribbley, come and have a look at this, it's hilarious.
I encourage him because it's educational, combining biology, action painting,
Very good, very colourful.
and cookery. My own favourite hobby is renting hire vans and damaging their gearboxes. Because they can't tell when you drive them back, and it's funny, and I hate humanity. I also drive them dangerously in the car park. I played my old school. Our motto was, in terror parks hominibus. Back in the flat, I switch on the radio and Louise Botting.
You are as skint as a rat, 'cause your shares fell flat. You were far too greedy, and that is that. And you've lost your Porsches, and you have to drive old Crocs. Well, we got our money out, PDQ, 'cause we were in the know, but we didn't tell you, so stick that up your dirt box.
Hello and welcome to Dirtbox.
This is one of the best programmes on Radio 4. To really maximise your listening pleasure, you have to be living in Orpington, aged 102 and anally retentive. You will have scrimped and saved, eating only fish paste sandwiches, and you will amass a tidy nest egg. Just as you're about to enjoy your nest egg, you die, and your ungrateful progeny blow your life savings on wild parties and plastic surgery.
And have your kids spend all your money for you, so...
Super. Anyone want money? Anybody want some money? I'll have some money.
If you're involved like me in the media, you simply do not have to work. While you're being told by the producer that you are wonderful, a woman comes round with a big bag of money and asks if you'd like some.
£1 million, please. £2 million, please.
However, proper jobs do seem to be popular with the working classes, who get up at 5 a.m, wear cloth caps and clogs, transport their kiddies down to the mill in a wheelbarrow, and work 18-hour days in pitiful conditions for very little remuneration. Don't get me wrong, I suppose you thought I was being a Guardian reader. No, sirree, I can't stand the working classes. They're thick, bone-headed, bone-idle, bovine, stupid, filthy, ignorant, whining lumpen proles who should have worked a bit harder at school and who eat too much pot noodles and wear Airtex vests and their socks in bed. Unfortunately, the woman with the big bag of money is on holiday this week, so I have to suffer the indignity of gainful employment. My local job centre offers me 3 of the worst jobs in the world. Let me explain in Sisyphean terms. One of the vilest jobs in the world is assistant to the Queen's Secretary. This position involves writing the Queen's messages of sympathy, which these days is becoming a full-time job. Every morning, the assistant thoroughly peruses the newspapers looking for deaths in Commonwealth countries. If there are more than 3 whites, or their equivalent in blacks, about 100, a telegram is de rigueur.
Right, Mr. Lewis Smith, you got to write a telegram saying Her Majesty is deeply shocked.
Well, why write deeply shocked?
Because she always says she's deeply shocked.
Is she deeply shocked?
Yes, she is deeply shocked.
Oh, I wouldn't have her job for the world. Fancy being deeply shocked every time some people you never heard of got killed. It'll make her ill being deeply shocked, so it's disgusting.
That is maybe, but would you write it right? Her Majesty is deeply shocked.
Yes, all right, Her Majesty is deeply...
Another very unattractive appointment is that of assistant contraband impounder in the coprolite division at Airport Customs. With the proliferation of internal smuggling, that is, the secreting of contraband in the bowels, the assistant is forced to indulge in the strangest custom of all. Wearing a pair of rubber gloves and a snorkel, he waits for nature to take its course before he rummages through a pan full of smugglers' guano in search of narcotics, O-levels not required.
Oh, what a disgusting job. Come on, strain, will you? Strain. I've not got all day. Have you eaten those cenopods?
Hey man, leave my tradesman's entrance alone, yeah?
Piffle and tosh. Her Majesty's customs official require big jobs from you, and Her Majesty will be deeply shocked if you don't strain a bit.
One.
There she blows.
Done one.
Fred, switch on the conveyor belt, will you? We've got one.
And on the conveyor belt tonight, we have a condom filled with white powder, a cuddly toy, condom full of white powder, a Morphy Richards iron, lucky it came out pointy end first, a condom filled with white powder, a nest of convenient coffee tables, and a condom full of white powder. What is this white powder?
It's lysergic acid, man.
Oh, don't you give me none of that jive, you honky mother effer. I wasn't born yesterday. That powder's neat Horlicks, and you're bang to rights. Look, I'll prove it. I'll stir 2 generous tablespoonsful into a mug of warm milk, and I'll gulp it down. On reflection, I decide that the white powder was probably not Horlicks after all, and glancing at my reflection in Hepworth's window, I notice I have transmutated into a mile-high duck. I cross my legs and start playing selections from Fiddler on the Roof on the sitar. Realising that should I return to customs as a mile-high duck, I will be put in quarantine, I decide to pursue the nastiest job of all, a plum BBC post.
The 6 o'clock news from the BBC.
Good evening. The new director of programmes for television has been announced. He is a mile-high duck. More on that later. Other news, the Queen was deeply shocked, at least 7 times before breakfast this morning. Bibbly, bibble, bubble, bibble, bubble, bibble.
I arrive at Broadcasting House to take up my new appointment, and after some difficulty getting through the door, meet Mr. Marmalade Butty.
Do come in, Super, sit down. Now, the BBC has decided to give you the job, Mr. Mile-High Duck. Quite. The last chap who had your job turned the place into some sort of Billy Smart circus. Horrible business, made it far too entertaining. Here at the BBC, the last thing we want is a lot of viewers, far too much paperwork. Can you wear a grey suit and make programmes less interesting than watching paint dry? Good. Well, we're going to start with the season of Potter. No, not the Nancy Boy playwright with skin like a pineapple. We'll have the Potter's Wheel interlude going 8 hours a day. Yeah. And of course, when we fire you in a year's time, you'll have to say that the BBC is the finest organisation in the world. You're proud to have been associated. Lord Reith, family values, forget me in 2 weeks. It's all been a big mistake, blah, blah, blah.
I'm ensconced in my luxury penthouse director's office. All that remains of the last occupant is a pair of red braces, some nipple clamps attached to a car battery, and a half-empty tube of water-based lubricant with the legend "Love from Terry" written on it. The office has been specially adapted to accommodate a mile-high duck, 15 television sets, and a small but elegant duck pond. With my electronic conch, I zap over to Channel 4 to see whether my predecessor has made the grade.
Later this evening on Channel 4, Michael Ignatieff fronts a new series called A History of Western Philosophy. His guests tonight are Val Dunican, Barbara Windsor, Milken and Nesbitt, Bernie Winters and Schnobbits, and Terry Wogan. That's after Blakey from On the Buses, who tonight looks at Picasso's Guernica.
Look at that, what a bleeding state, eh? Look, bleeding horses head all over the place. Look like a bleeding bob's at it. Look at that, I know what I like, and it's not that I hate you, Butler. That's my opinion anyway.
Next week, Ned, hear how the new director of the Royal Opera House raises the ceiling of his stage by a mile and signs me up to sing Rudolfo in La Boheme.